What we do know about our ancient ancestors is they migrated from the cradle of humanity in East Africa, arriving in Western Europe about 40,000 years ago. And it's at this precise moment of change that they suddenly started painting the world around them. They existed as nomadic hunter-gatherers, and to survive they needed to master their environment, as the conditions they faced during the Ice Age were harsh in the extreme.
It would have been a very raw, very physical life, because every material has to be transformed from its natural form, and this would take much physical effort and a lot of hard work.
They were great ecologists, great natural historians, in terms of understanding nature, because they depended on that natural world. And again, as we see with modern hunter-gatherers, their interest in the natural world seems to go far beyond what they actually require. And I think that ecological knowledge feeds into the art.
Clearly, these are props in another very significant activity, whether it's storytelling or whether it's some kind of engagement with whatever spirits or gods were thought to be controlling the world. They clearly play some ritual, religious role, which is to do with the cohesion of society.
It's been estimated that 40,000 years ago, the total number of people to be found in all of Europe was only around 100,000. That's less than the population of medieval Paris. So when our hunter-gathering ancestors did come across each other, it was essential to their continued success that they establish effective means of communicating about possible danger, sources of food, and so on. Could art have played a vital role in that process?
Coming into this ice age, you've got ice sheets advancing across Europe, and the area of habitable land becoming smaller. You've got populations being squeezed down to a smaller and smaller livable area. So population densities are likely rising. So the ongoing cultural elaboration and fluorescence of art may be something about people getting more squeezed into small areas and needing greater amounts of ritual activity to manage those complex social relations.
So art explodes as people get forced closer together?
I think that the capacity to appreciate and create art is part of the knowledge acquiring system of the brain. If you ask what is the function of the visual brain, well, you can say it's to see colors, to see forms, but overall its function is to acquire knowledge. And I think art is one way of acquiring knowledge, but not only of acquiring knowledge, but transmitting knowledge and communicating.
These are our ancestors. It really needs to be stressed. They are people, completely like ourselves, with all the same capacities, all the same wants, desires, fears, and emotions.
The range of things that they have depicted is very much related to their survival. But what is also interesting, I think, is that the art that they produced and the imagination that they used is something that we recognize easily today in terms of essentials of the visual brain. We have not changed that much over the past 40,000 years.
So the art of prehistory is profoundly important in the story of human development. To uncover more, I've come here to the British Museum.
To emphasise the huge significance of prehistoric art and to help all of us see it for what it really is, not just an assembly of archaeological remnants from our most distant past, but as something vibrant, alive, truly creative art. The British Museum is staging one of the most ambitious exhibitions in its entire history.
The exhibition is to be called Ice Age, Arrival of the Modern Mind. It's running from February till the end of May and aims to bring together the finest examples of the period's art ever assembled. The curator of the exhibition, Dr. Jill Cook, has agreed to meet me, so I can have a sneak look at some of the objects that have started to arrive. So what are you going to show me today? It's rather mysteriously wrapped, like an early Christmas present.
Well, it's a copy of a wonderful piece of clay sculpture. Done 15,000 years ago.
I want to see.
Let's unveil.
No.
There they are.
Goodness me.
The bison of Le Tout d'Eau du Bear.
This is an exact plaster cast of sculptures too delicate to be moved from the cave where they were found, next to footprints showing people once danced in front of them. They're amazing. They are amazing. I've never seen anything like that.
Aren't they wonderful?
My life. I love the fine detail. On this beast we can see the nostrils that have been opened out, the mouth has been slightly opened.
And this lovely little ear just modelled.
The ear and the horn.
And the horn.
And they've carved, they've moulded the anus.
Yes.
They leave nothing out.
No, no.
Picasso would have been proud to make these. I mean, it is absolutely beyond belief. I have to say, I'm still struggling to get my head around the sheer depth of the past that we've entered.
These are the first attempt that we can document of human beings trying to shape their experience and make it something that it's not, make it bigger than it is, and transform it. What that says about how we begin to be able to make our reality, and control reality and think about our place in it, is almost as exciting, I think, as the objects themselves.
Where are you taking me?
We're going to the prehistory department workshop, which is the engine room of the exhibition.
I like workshops. You get to see things up close.
This is where we've got some of the objects waiting to have their mounts made.
Just in this little cupboard?
Yeah, well, a lot of these things are quite small because these people are on the move all the time.
Yeah, the hunter-gatherer, the nomad.
They can't be carrying big canvases around with them. They need to tuck stuff in their pockets. So lots of it's quite small.
I want to see what cavemen kept in their pockets.
You're about to. What we've got here is really the art of everyday.
Everyday life.
Everyday life. On these things which they use as tools and weapons, they often do a lot of drawing. This is what we call a baton, and you can see that they've drawn on it mares.
Wow.
It's such a beautifully observed natural scene. And they have one or more holes in them.
What would they have been used for?
They're really a piece of all-purpose kit. Let me use one I made earlier. The holes are great for using in the manufacture of the spear shaft.
So they might not have the wheel yet, but they're all too aware of the importance of the circle. It's almost
perhaps the first engineering tool, 13 to 14,000 years old.
Wow.
These tools and weapons are often decorated by the owner.
So this is not the artist. I mean, this is more like Stone Age graffiti.
Yeah, it's much less practiced.
Yeah. What's this extraordinary thing?
So if you hold your hand out, I'm going to put it on your hand.
Good Lord.
You're looking at the front of a horse.
That's amazing. It's like a Giacometti horse. It's like a Giacometti horse. What a thing.
And here's its chest, and here are its legs.
That's incredible.
Now, that is a hooked spear thrower. 13,500, 14,000 years old.
Astonishing.
This is one of the few stone tools that's in the exhibition. Just have a look at the profile of that. That's less than 6 millimetres thick.
Wow.
And if you hold it up to the light, it's translucent. Huh. So to get a thing of this length and this thinness is a huge piece of specialisation. This is about 18,000 years old.
So this again argues for the fact that they have special people doing special things.
And if you can make a tool as beautiful as that, sculpture's the next thing.
Absolutely. It strikes me that these are also a little bit like portable cave drawings.
Quite. The subject matter is the same. The animals, the signs, the patterns.
It's uncanny the way in which it predicts the development of art in the times of history, you know, because it's always said that one of the great shifts from the Middle Ages to Renaissance is that you've got these cathedrals where everything's built in, you've got frescoes on the wall, and then suddenly there's this new move towards portable art, and it's one of the great shifts in all of art history. And here we are,
well,
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years before history, and they've done it already. It's quite a responsibility to be a curator gathering all this stuff together from different museums across the world.
We've got objects coming that are 40,000 years old.
Yeah.
This is our deep history. This belongs to all of us, and it's an enormous responsibility to look after it.
Yeah.
Most of us were taught that art comes as a function of civilization. What is perfectly clear from this exhibition is that need to make objects that will move us into a different plane starts as early as we start living together. It's clearly in the human spirit just to do it. And once we start doing it, we do it as well then as we can do it today. This is, I think, where we can really say these people are quite clearly thinking like us.